Week 24, Overview, End of the Civil War. This week, we finished studying the Civil War. We'll look at battles from July of 1863 to April 1865. Generally speaking, things were worse in the South than the North in these years. Southerners saw their fields and cities become battlegrounds. Lincoln urged his generals to use every means at their disposal to force the South to give in. Equally determined, Jefferson Davis vowed to never give in and fight the war with every possible resource left to the South. The results were misery and death for soldiers in both armies, plus countless civilians in the South. Last week we noted how the tide of war turned with the back-to-back Union victories at Gettysburg and Vicksburg. You might hope that after the amazing losses at Antietam and Gettysburg, the war would stop soon, but the battles that followed were even more frequent and ferocious. On September 19, 1863, Union General Rosecrans lost a major battle in southeast Tennessee. Chattanooga was a prime military target. It was known as the Gateway to the South because it was a rail hub on a navigable river. It was also surrounded by mountains that made it easy to defend and hard to take. The armies were well matched, about 60,000 men on each side. They met at Chickamauga Creek and fought for 2 days. It was a Union loss that would have been a disaster but for General George Thomas, whose heroism earned him the nickname the Rock of Chickamauga that day. The defeated Federal troops retreated into Chattanooga, where they were bombarded by Confederate artillery from the heights around the city. A humiliated Rosecrans relinquished his army. 3 days later, Ulysses S. Grant, the new commander of all Union troops in the West, led the breakout from Chattanooga. Grant ordered William T. Sherman and Joseph Hooker to attack the left and right flanks of the rebel army. Hooker's men fought on the top of Lookout Mountain, in what has been called the Battle Above the Clouds. Sherman's men made no progress on the right flank, however, so Grant ordered a dangerous attack on the Confederate center. His men were hungry for revenge for Chickamauga. They drove the Confederates from their fortifications. The gateway to the South was taken. After receiving the news of victory, President Lincoln declared the first national day of Thanksgiving. People in the North began to hope the war might soon be over. In March 1864, Lincoln called Grant to Washington and made him commander of all the Union armies. It was an effective choice, with a price. Grant intended to end the war quickly. His goal was to save the Union no matter what the cost. He was prepared to sacrifice his own men in staggering numbers if that's what